In the new episode of Pokemon Horizons, the series finally ended a crazy theory that's been plaguing our community for almost 2 years. At long last, it's been laid to rest, dude, and I really haven't seen anyone talking about it, so I want to talk about it right here, right now. So, way back in April 2023, when there were only 3 episodes of Pokemon Horizons, I made a YouTube video. That video was titled "The True Villain of Pokemon Horizons Betrayed Liko." Very dramatic, I know. And basically in that video I theorized that Anne, Liko's roommate and one of her best friends, she could actually be a villain in disguise. She could be a member of the Explorers, and I suggested that that could be revealed in a big plot twist later in the series. If I'm totally honest, I put this theory out there in a kind of light-hearted, jokey way. I didn't really intend for it to be taken too seriously, you know? It was just a bit of fun. But oh dude, that theory absolutely catapulted in the community. A lot of people were on board with the idea of Anne being a villain and really hoped it would be real. There were people talking about it on YouTube, on Reddit, on Twitter, on Instagram, and yeah, ever since then, even now, almost 2 years later, I still see people theorizing that Anne could be a secret villain, that she could be betraying Liko and the others. And if I'm honest, I can't even blame anyone for believing it, truly. As time went on, as more episodes released, there was genuinely more and more evidence suggesting it could be real. From Anne always contacting Liko and asking where she is very shortly before the Explorers somehow found Liko, implying that maybe Anne could be telling the Explorers where she is, to Anne being the only one to know about Liko's pendant, and then suddenly all the Explorers somehow know about the pendant too shortly after, once again implying that Anne might have told them, to Anne having a sus reaction to meeting Terapagos for the first time, and there's been plenty of other bits of evidence over the past year and a half that people have come up with too that I've forgotten about. So yeah, quite a few people in the community really did believe that Anne could be a secret Explorers member, pretending to be Liko's friend so she can give the Explorers information about Liko and Terapagos. Some have theorized that Anne could be Amethio's sister, since they both begin with the same letters and their eyes are the same colours, and then others have theorised that Anne could even be Coral in disguise, or Coral's sister, due to their similar personalities and similar sharp tooth. But now, at long last, we finally have proof to lay this theory to rest once and for all. We finally have proof to end the Anne is a villain theory, and that's all because of Anne in the new Pokemon Horizons episode. In Pokemon Horizons episode 67, which aired a few days ago, Liko and Roy had a big battle against each other as part of a tournament. It was a 2v2 battle, and Liko didn't want to use Terapagos in the battle, but Terapagos has a really bad habit of wandering off and getting lost when left alone, and that's obviously a huge risk, considering the main goal of the villains, the Explorers, is to quite literally kidnap Terapagos from Liko. If the Explorers get their hand on Terapagos, then they can finally reach their end goal. They can finally reach the Laqua paradise. So Liko decided that while she was battling Roy, she would give Terapagos to someone else to hold and look after, basically to protect Terapagos so that he couldn't be wandering off or getting kidnapped again. And Liko chose Anne to look after Terapagos. Anne had Terapagos to herself for the entire episode, dude. They were chilling together for the entire time, and we've seen repeatedly over and over and over just how hard the Explorers are trying to take Terapagos, how they're really willing to go to any extreme to get it done, including unaliving people, because after all, Terapagos is all they need to achieve their goals. So with Anne having Terapagos under her care for the entire episode, this would have been the perfect opportunity for her to strike, the truly perfect chance to reveal herself to us as a villain, as a member of the Explorers. She literally had the main goal of the Explorers, Terapagos, in her hands. She wouldn't have had to have done anything to just steal Terapagos and get the job done. She could have just walked off and taken Terapagos with her, kidnapping it and achieving the dreams of the Explorers. But she didn't. Anne didn't kidnap Terapagos. In fact, Anne did absolutely nothing sus for the entire episode. All she did was have fun with Terapagos, cheering Liko and Roy on in their battle, holding Terapagos in her arms lovingly. And then later, after the battle that night, she returned Terapagos to Liko happily and celebrated their battle with them before leaving. Bro, if Anne was an explorer, if Anne was a villain, then she would have taken Terapagos. The Explorers will stop at nothing to get Terapagos, and Anne had the easiest opportunity of all time at her fingertips. But since she didn't take Terapagos, she truly proved once and for all that she is not a villain, she's not a member of the Explorers. And that means, at long last, the Anne is a villain theory can be laid to rest. Anne has finally freed herself from the allegations. The allegations that I regretfully had a big part in spreading. But anyway, this really is undeniable proof against the theory. That's 10 times stronger than any proof the theory ever had. And don't get me wrong, personally, I do think that Anne being a villain could have been such a crazy and cool plot twist. But I also really love Anne, and I really love her friendship with Liko, so I'm happy we don't have to worry about it anymore. Anne's in our good books now. We're sorry for doubting you for so long, Anne. So yeah, let me know your thoughts below. Were you buying into the idea of Anne being villainous, or did you always think it was a stupid theory? Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. That would really help me out, dude. And finally, be sure to join our Discord server if you haven't already. The link is in the description, and we're currently hosting a Rising Vault Tacklers vs Explorers event in there. You basically get to choose your team and everything and take a side, and it's a lot of fun, man. And hey, now you can join a team knowing for sure what side Anne is on. On that note, thank you all so much for watching, and best wishes until we meet again.